Well, as you heard in Jason's report, Senator Tim Kaine floats the idea that Donald Trump Jr.'s meeting amounts to treason. However, CNN senior legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin says that would be a hard case to prove.
I think it is completely inappropriate and just legally wrong to talk about treason as even a possibility from the facts that we know at this point. It is illegal to solicit help from a foreign government. That is a violation of campaign finance laws.
Just the solicitation. You don't have to receive benefit?
Absolutely. That
but what if it comes to you? You're not soliciting it. It comes and lands in your lap.
Then it's not a crime.
So if you don't ask for it, then you're not soliciting, so it would be a question of fact.
That's right. And, you know, we got enormously important emails yesterday. What we did not get were any emails about what actually happened at this meeting and whether there was any follow-up and whether there were any other meetings with people who were described as representatives of the foreign government.
Don Jr. has said nothing happened and that there was no follow-up, but his credibility comes into question because he's changed his description of this meeting from the beginning.
Correct. And so, I mean, I think, you know, all of a sudden, the usual rule that lawyers have is that if someone has lied 2 times on the same subject, the third description is not necessarily true. It may be another lie. So I think it's going to be important for investigators working meticulously to get the story of what happened with this meeting with the Russian lawyer and find out, you know, whether any information changed hands. Just because Donald Trump Jr. says nothing happened, that doesn't mean nothing happened.
Jeffrey Toobin speaking there, and presumably the ongoing Russian investigations will reveal just what happened at that meeting. Let's take a closer look at all of this. We're joined by Dan Merica from inside the White House. Dan, the Russian cloud hanging over Donald Trump is becoming more ominous. Just give us a sense of the mood right now in the White House.
It really depends on whether you're asking people in public or in private. In public, White House aides will say everything's fine here. It's a sunny day and everything's beautiful, nothing's going on. But in private, there is mass distrust over this story and really concerns about where this goes in terms of Donald Trump's legislative priorities. Now, Donald Trump took to Twitter after seeing a series of stories about how this is hurting his legislative agenda, and I want to read that to you. He said, "The White House is functioning perfectly, focused on healthcare, tax cuts, reform, and many other things. I have very little time for watching television, TV." That's not what we're hearing from senators and House members on Capitol Hill. They say that all these investigations, the continued questions, the fact that reporters regularly ask questions of senators when they're coming in and out of meetings, and most of these questions have been about Russia, that stalls things and makes it more difficult to get anything done because it makes it difficult for people on Capitol Hill to really push a narrative, push a message. So put yourself really in the shoes of these senators. These are people who backed, and House members, who backed Donald Trump in the 2016 election, and they're seeing it become more and more difficult to get things done that they promised. That really raises the specter and raises problems here at the White House, because if they don't get things done, that will eventually hurt them at the ballot box in 2018 and 2020.
And Dan, there are reports circulating that there's a firing squad at the White House essentially trying to find the source of the latest leaks, while some, like Vice President Mike Pence, are trying to do as much as possible to distance themselves from this.
Yeah, Mike Pence put out a statement a few days ago saying that he was unaware of this meeting and actually noting that he wasn't even on the campaign at the time. This meeting was in early June. He joined the campaign or was picked by Trump in July. So that is some distance. He's saying basically, I wasn't around at this time. I know nothing about it. Now, they've tried to walk that back a little bit and say that, there is no distance between the vice president and the president, and that certainly is what the White House wants people to think. But yes, the circular firing squad you mentioned is certainly happening here. There are a lot of people who are trying to suss out who leaked this information, where did it come from, and there are fingers being pointed left and right inside the West Wing. That, again, makes it more difficult to really get anything done here at the White House. They may say everything is fine in public, but the fact that behind the scenes, aides are in an ominous mood, they're gloomy, they're worried about what this means for future priorities, and they're frankly worried about, what if I say something to someone, is that going to make its way to the press? All of that contributes to a White House that is not exactly functioning perfectly, as the president mentioned on Twitter.
All right, Dan Merica, we'll have to leave it there for now at the White House. Thank you very much.
Thank you.